17,700 and about 20 miles. A one owner and very nicely kept Melbourne 24L landing back here at Haylett RV. Actually, we're at Haylett RV currently as I record this. This will be located and for sale just down the street at Advantage One RV. That's our consignment location because we are selling this on behalf of the owners. A little bit different from a trade, but don't let that mess your head up because whether you need hitching pieces, parts, you need a trade, you need financing, we still do all that stuff whether you're at Haylett's or Advantage One. And you know what's funny is the way things go in cycles. I, like most of America, I think, got really burnt out on the brown wood tones. But there's a luster, there's a life to this that I'm gonna admit I'm kind of missing. Sort of like the new Jayco Tobel American Craftsman decor that you can find in like the Eagle series. Man, that speaks to me. It speaks to me in a very real way. But that's not what we're talking about. I'm just saying, I like the look of this thing. We are 7 foot tall inside, and it's nice and quiet in here when I'm not talking anyway. My wife is always like, it's so much nicer when it's quiet in here. I'm like, yeah, but I'm talking. She's like, that's what I mean. Big vent fan up here. But what I'm getting at is we have a noise-canceling soft-touch ceiling liner. 15,000 BTU Coleman quieter air conditioner. So, I mean, it can be very... toned down in here, very comfortable. That big window in the entry door really kind of, I think, sets things off when we start over here because you got the window in the kitchen, big window in the entry door, plus the cab windows. It never feels like we're really, trapped in here. It never feels so small and enclosed. Not to mention, as we keep twisting around, you can see all the way around this RV. Now, these chairs obviously spin around kind of like a Class A motorhome. You might notice it's a little bit low to the ground. There's like basically a little cushion that you can put on that so you don't, feel like you're sitting on the floor. Now, this Sprinter chassis, Mercedes chassis, Sprinter chassis, same thing basically. It is personally, and I mean, I've test driven a lot of motorhomes over the years from big Class A's to little basic Class C's and vans and everything between. This, to me, is the smoothest feeling, best handling, most comfortable driving chassis I think is out there. That's my 2 cents, but I really feel like that's one of the things, driving is believing on one of these. Of course, you got your little central entertainment system down there, but the little details here, like these pockets above the driver and passenger, I'm telling you, those are handy, and they're heavy duty. If you need to grab onto them to get in or out, you can. Now, up top here, of course, we got that forward overhead cab. That thing that we're looking at right here would be like the bedspread for the master bed. Let me show you this. Between these two front chairs, there is a removable pedestal, but I notice there's no tabletop on it. It looks like that has been changed or modified. I don't see the original tabletop in the RV. I just want to point that out. I want you folks to know exactly what you're getting in here because it is such a common thing. I don't want you driving all the way and then finding out, oh yeah, no, it doesn't have that thing you thought it did and having a sour taste in your mouth. I don't like sour grapes. TV pivots around and look at the ladder. That's the original factory ladder, but they added some barefoot friendly wooden rungs on here. And that was the first thing I noticed before actually I got over here to the dining that made me go, oh, this is a person who knew what they were doing with wood. And I think that's actually the answer to what happened to that tabletop. That's not the original Jayco Melbourne table right there. They have done some beefing up and upgrading on this. And I noticed that they moved the original pedestal mount on here. So what I think they did is they made this so that if you want to take this giant table over here and you want to put that between these two chairs, you could, if you are so inclined. Would you do that? Would you want to? I don't know. I think you can, though. Obviously, a privacy curtain here for the upper bunk. By the way, this is hard to find for some people. The lights for your over cab bed, they're actually up here. It's easy to miss. Now, this is like, normally on a big motorhome, I would call it like a mega slide. But really, this is not significantly any longer than a conventional super slide you find in a lot of RVs, towable, motorized, or otherwise. I like the full carpetless nature of this as well. But it starts here in the dining and it goes all all the way through past that storage into the bedroom area. Speaking of storage, let's take a look at that. I kind of gave you a little sneak peek above the dinette, not intentionally, mostly because I'm forgetful and I forgot to close that. I sort of spoiled the surprise. But we have ourselves a nice pantry space here, yes sir. And I love that. I love it anytime the storage comes to me. You may also notice there is a full like slow rise roller curtain privacy wall. If you want to close off that rear bedroom, that's all it takes right there. You already saw that big vent fan up top, extra storage here, and this is all pocket screwed. It's all wood core cabinet styles with the metal struts. That is a convection microwave, by the way. And this is something I like to look in here and be like, okay, did they use it? Did they keep it clean? And yeah, they did. I mean, you can still see my reflection in there, plain as day. Solid surface counter. I like the recessed sink and the little stove cover there to give you some prep space. But you've got that little extra leaf there when you need it. Looks like the previous owners left a couple things behind. Typically, that means those are objects that they don't intend to keep anymore. Obviously, that might vary. If they watch this video and go, oh crap, we forgot to clean out under the sink. I don't know what's under there. It might be there. It might be gone. If you buy the RV, you don't want the stuff, throw it away. No big deal. And I kind of thought as long as I have this open, because you're not seeing them, but there are double seat belts, by the way, for the dinette here. So you have actually more seat belt positions in this RV than you actually have total sleeping, although it's pretty darn close. A lot of motorhomes have a very bad balance of that. And this in the middle, because it, is such a everything overlaps floor plan, I was always impressed with the total storage that you have in this one. Now, if you hang tight with me for just a minute here, we're going to finish up looking at the bedroom, then we're going to take a peek in the bathroom, and then I'm going to close the slide so you can see how it works in transit. You might notice how that mattress there folds. You will lose the bed when you close the slide up. And the bathroom's kind of shoved over here into the corner, but I think they do a really good job of utilizing the space. That big window also really helps open it up. And how about Campin' Hack 101 over here? The old shoe organizer on the wall for storage. Those also work really well on the back of doors. That's a really good way to have space for things like, soaps, body washes, all the hairspray, all that stuff. If you got the big things in the bathroom, you don't have places to put it, that's a really handy way to get around that little problem. All right, so from the cockpit area, if you're driving, you stand up, you pivot to your right. Well, I guess if you're, the passenger, you'd be pivoting to the left more than likely. This is what you'd see here. Easy to walk through. We can still get to the bathroom, obviously. Really, the biggest thing that we lose out on in transit is just that mattress right there. Now, the door doesn't fully open in transit, but it opens enough that, it's not like you got to, be a skinny mini to get through here or anything. And I like these little shorties, Not everybody wants, a bus the size of that Montana over there. It feels intimidating. It feels scary. This just kind of feels like, driving a big van. You ever drive like a 15-passenger van, take a bunch of your friends somewhere? It's always fun unless you're the driver. That's the worst experience. I always end up being the driver, by the way. Probably because I probably have a control problem. I don't know, regardless. It's interesting because this is painted. This is a full paint package that was optional on the Melbournes. The paperwork, interestingly, lists the paint package as tattoo blue. I don't know about you. That looks like a little bit more gray and silver to me. I kind of call it like more of a silver mist, but hey, I didn't name it. Maybe it was a misprint, but we have the original paperwork when we sold this thing. This is on the, you see a Mercedes emblem up front, but it's that kind of like Sprinter chassis where, Mercedes and Dodge Sprinter kind of partnered up to make this thing. It's a little turbo diesel. It tows, I believe, about 4,400 pounds. And one of the things here people often ask on this one is like, hey, what's the miles per gallon on this? And I've heard reports from actual owners anywhere from about 12 to up to 18, one person said. And I think it's really going to depend on where you go, how you drive. Are you lead foot? Do you stay at 60? Do you go 75? Are you towing something? And that paint package, man, woo, child, that looks good. So you see these little compartments right here. That is actually storage that you can get to like from the outside under the dinette. Now below the slide, because this whole wall is one big super slide basically, You've, of course, got your owning 3600 propane generator down there. I like propane generators a lot because the nice thing about those is if you you don't use it for a while, it doesn't gum up and foul out your carburetor like a gas generator might. And they don't have room for huge outside storage compartments on this little thing, but they did utilize everything pretty darn well. The tires look good. I'm not seeing scrapes on it where like somebody might have driven it past a low-hanging tree branch or anything like that. And at a glance, you might not overtly see a rear view camera. It is actually integrated into that extra tail light, that brake light actually, above the rear window, below the marker light. So it's way up there. Overall, I can't find anything on this out here I'm really too awful concerned with. You know, you got the easy power step right behind the power step. Let me get you up here after I get you back around. Under the awning, behind the power step, you have yourself a little propane quick connect. So if you want to do a little bit of outdoor grilling, even on a rainy day, you can. Overall, man, this thing, it looks terrific. So again, we are selling this, pre-owned RV right here down at Advantage One RV, 1 mile away from where it's physically being recorded right now. But Haylett RV that you see in the background, we can get you a brand new copy of it if you're interested. Give us a call, we'll get you quoted out. Short of that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and have an A1 day, everyone.